Sewists. I'm Stacy Robbins. If you're new here, I've recently had kind of a little influx of new subscribers, and you may not know me. I am a longtime sewing teacher who now teaches online instead of in the classroom, and I love to share my projects with you. Today, we're doing a little sewing room refresh. We've done a few updates and changes. I've been filming this over quite a few days, and today I'm going to just put it all together for you and show you the things we've been working on. Today was not a film day for me. That's why you get natural hair Stacy. However, I've been working on a little project behind the scenes, and I decided I want to share with you the behind the scenes stuff. I think that's important and interesting for sewists, especially because we're always learning and there's always new technology. So we did a little project this weekend. I'm going to just show you a little slideshow of what that went like, because my husband doesn't necessarily love to be online, but he's the guy who put my ideas into action. So I'm going to show you a few pictures of what that looked like. The thing I wanted to do was hang a mini projector so I could use it for doing my PDF patterns instead of printing out the patterns, taping them together, tracing them off, etc., etc., etc. I wanted to be able to just project down, trace off, and do alterations. Saves lots of time and paper. It's a lot more ecological, and time management wise it's a lot better too. However, there's a little bit of extra fiddling to get your projector and everything fine-tuned and calibrated, which is what I've been working on today. So we were fortunate that there was already an electrical outlet in the ceiling, because this half of the room was used as like a family room and they had a projector in here before. I bought a little mini projector that does have a remote control so I can turn it on and off without having to climb a ladder. Then my husband went ahead and drilled and made a conduit to put my HDMI cable through so I could hook it up from projector to my laptop. Because I got an inexpensive projector and not one that Bluetooths and does all the fun stuff, my budget was very small for this. So he crawled through the attic, laid between the eaves, did all of that work. Of course, I was his right-hand girl, handing him things, pulling on stuff, bringing the fish through, knocking on the wall so he could find it, you know, the stuff that he needs an extra hand for that I can provide. And we got the whole thing put together. So it works. As far as functioning, it works great. I'm still working on calibrating, so I'll show you a little bit of that. I'm excited because I have two PDF patterns I want to be working on soon, and I really want to use this method to do it. So let me show you how that's been going. Okay, so this is what we've been working on. That right there is a little projector. We've run an HDMI cord. You can see through the ceiling, and then it comes down and out right there. So I can set my laptop there and work on PDF patterns. So now I am trying to calibrate this thing. So it kind of looks like this. You can see my little step stool there because I've been climbing up and down trying to get the focus just right, and I have a few issues. So let me show you what those are. Can you see it's at an angle? It's smaller up here than it's down there. It's wedge shaped. Yeah, it'd be great if you were in geometry class, but not great in pattern making class. So I have tried multiple things. I've been on the website on Facebook for Projector Sewing. There's a wonderful group there. They provide the calibration pages that you can upload in Adobe. I've been using them, and I think the problem is really the fact that I got a cheap little projector. So this little thing right here is a 4x4 square, supposedly, which is this square on here. It's gonna be a little hard to tell because of the gray, but it's about a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square, which means everything's off by 1/4 of an inch, and that's not gonna work. So I have been trying to calibrate it. It will simply size is size, like you're just stuck with the size that it appears, and I have been trying to manipulate my patterns within my program. Also not quite getting there because it doesn't let me micromanage it. It goes up by 1/4 of an inch as far as measurements on here each time I change the size. So I'm still working on it. I cannot wait to try it if I can get it. I spent about $50 on this little projector and another 20 on a really long HDMI cord, and about 10 or 12 for my little anchor up there to put. My husband crawled through the attic and did all of this for me, which I so appreciate. He made it much neater. I was thinking about just doing tracks and then painting them to match. And here's the pattern that I'm trying to get to work. I printed out one sheet so that I can kind of lay it underneath and just get an idea how off I am. Anyway, all of my calibration tools, all the things that they provided so far have not worked. I'll let you know when I figure it out. I figured it out. I hope you can see inside here. This is what's projected inside my 4x4 square, so I have it fixed. However, the alteration did not come from the projector, but from the program. This will be different for everyone, but in my program, I actually had to go download Adobe Reader. Normally I just open my PDFs in the browser, how they come, but I downloaded Adobe Reader so that I could adjust my zoom micro. Otherwise it kind of has automatic settings. It goes, 25%, 35%, 50%, 75, that sort of thing, which I didn't want. I found that at 34% settings, it fits. It'll be different for everyone. I'm not going to tell you how to do this. Go to the Facebook group. I think it's Projectors for Sewing is the name, if you decide that you want to do this. But I have got it set up so I can finally try tracing off my first pattern. I am not 100% pleased. I cannot get it real sharp, so I'm going to do the best I can. It's a cheap little projector. It's also set in Dutch, and I have yet to figure out how to get that changed. Pretty dark up here because I've been working with the lights off and just the window open, just for projector purposes, and it's super overcast out. We had an ice storm overnight. It's still kind of, I don't know, ice crystal air. It's cold out there and slick as all get out. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to enjoy my day up here in the sewing room. The big thing for me was that I did not want to see the projector in my videos. I don't want the visual obstruction. I'm gonna have to work on that. That right there makes me pretty unhappy. So I've got to do some more tidying and cleaning, but I'm getting close. Anyway, that's why it's so dark in here. It's super dark outside and I have the lights off so I can work with my projector. Well, I look forward to showing you how this whole thing works as I work through the setup. I just thought I'd kind of share with you today a little behind the scenes of the fun stuff that I'm doing. The other thing that I've been working on is I'm back in the corner and I put together this little file cabinet. It's a little wibbly wobbly. I'm actually going to have my husband put some little brackets from behind to make it more stable because I did put this together when he was out of town. And I've been working on my patterns. I finally got... The way this came is it had 3 sets of bars, so I could have one set of standard folders and one set of long folders. They expected you to stagger your folders here in the middle. Not practical for me. So I bought some more bars. They were 1/4 of an inch too long. My husband cut them off for me, so now I have bars for both sets. And I've been setting up, they're not organized at all except that I have like lingerie here, dresses here, pile here, but I'm getting closer and closer to getting that set up. My husband also brought me, they were throwing out a bunch of folders from work. They're empty, and he brought me that whole stack of stuff that was going to the trash, and I am recycling them in here. There's an R. I'm going to be pulling all those up. I haven't even been careful about that. I just have been using it to get it out so that I can get this completely cleaned up. I also have this little painting I made a long time ago just to keep the walls from not being bare, but I have something coming here soon. I'm very excited to share with you. Ordering frames for it right now and waiting for them to come. Okay, let me tell you about these pictures real quick. Okay, I'm excited to show you this end of the room. For a long time, I've had this large button painting that I did just for fun. It has a big tear in the side. And I just had it hanging up. We need things in here. It's so echoey. And I wanted something sort of sewing related. My kiddo is a photographer and they are taking some fun photography classes. So for one of her projects, she decided to take some of my very old garments, some of them all the way back from college, do some detail shots on them. And then for Christmas, she gave me the prints. So I'm going to show you some close-ups of these gorgeous prints that she did for me and tell you just a little bit about them. It was so meaningful and so special, and I was so surprised that she wanted to do that. It was very honoring to me that she did it. So let me share with you these pictures that are especially meaningful to me. All right, we're going to have not great lighting so that you can see this without a reflection. I'm having a really hard time with reflection on this, so I'm up here at night in the dark to film this part. These are the photographs that my daughter took of my projects. Some of these are all the way back from college, so I'm going to just show you a little close-up of these and talk about them a little bit. We'll start right down here with this one. So this is a red boucle suit that I made for my mom. It was just amazing fabric and fully lined. This you might recognize. This is a little close-up of the peignoir set I made. She has two of this in different variations. These were just a few of the fabrics, and she lined them up in a pretty gradation because they all sort of blended together, and just took a picture of the fabric. I just think it's lovely, and it matches. Like, she chose fabrics that all kind of go together. This is one I made for myself before I had children. This has got to be at least 30 years old. It is a pair of jeans and a matching vest, and it is made out of two different kinds of denim with real antler horn buttons and lots of top stitching. You can see it has like a pre-quilted denim and a regular denim. This is a natural denim, not dyed. So cute. Love it so much. So tiny, because this is before kids, soon after college that I made that. This is a piece. It was 2 pieces, and it's silk that I hand dyed, and I think it was in a competition. That's why it has the little tag. It has my maiden name and says OSU for my college. Didn't even know that the tag was still in it. This is another piece from college. This is a silk that is resist dyed or resist painted. It's like a watercolor sort of thing with the resist on the outside that I did, and it was irises, and there's even little beads inside the irises. Here's another one of the fabrics together. And then this is a silk charmeuse and chiffon swing dress with an under charmeuse slip dress that I made for my mom to wear to a function. And that's just a little close-up of one of the cuffs with the covered buttons that I made. Okay, so I'm standing at the other end of the room next to the photographs, just so you can kind of get, this is the other side of the room, looking down. So there's my sewing machines, exercise bike still here. There's my pattern cabinet. To the other end of the room, my desk. This is the thing I'm still working on getting organized, because it's things I really use. The one thing I think I'm going to weed out a bunch of these books, and then this is all embroidery thread, and I think I'm going to find a new way to store that and just get rid of that whole thing and just keep my printer here and clear up some of this too. I'd like to, this is cute, but it just doesn't match. I'd kind of like to recover these. Okay, so this is an angle you're used to seeing. However, something has changed, and it's this right here. Since I got my new sewing machine, I have not had an insert for my cabinet. Had an insert for my old 1630 Bernina, which is close to 30 years old now. But I've had this machine for quite a few years and never ordered the insert. They are over $100, and it was one of those things where I had decided not to invest my money in that, and I've been sewing with it perched up high and using its little portable table, its portable tray instead, which actually works fine. It does make the machine a little higher than it currently is. This is a better level for sewing for me. You can adjust your chair height, of course, and then I can raise the machine up and down if I want to use the free arm, or I can just remove this little plexiglass insert to use the free arm also. And I can access underneath here to get to the bobbin. I can see everything nice and clear. My husband made the insert for me. I ordered the plexiglass and made the template, which I will show here. Making a template to go in that hole to fill it in so I have a nice flat tabletop. I made one paper, traced it onto the cardboard, took the cardboard over, fitted it more precisely, made my adjustments. So here is my final template. And I'm going to take it to my hubby, and he's going to cut me an insert. So you can see the machine sitting in the well. This will actually lower the machine about 4 inches, which makes it a better height to sew. I can access it below here to change the bobbin. The knee lifter will work, and I can use it as a free arm. And then he got a special blade for his jigsaw that cuts plastic, and he made it work. So it's not 100% perfect, but it works great for me. It won't be squeaky. That's one of the things I didn't like about my little portable tray is when sewing, if I moved just right, it squeaked, and it was loud in the camera and in our videos. And so that no longer will be an issue. I do, however, have some concern that I'm going to have reflection issues off of this. So we will see how that goes. If I'm going to have to put some tissue paper underneath to prevent some of that reflection, I don't know. We'll see how that is. But I'm so grateful to have it and to have this nice flat surface to work on and to have it at the right height. Today's outfit of the day is my Sewist t-shirt. I have one back there. I actually have one on the other dress form too. It's one of my favorite little shirts, and I like to keep my dress forms covered, keep them modest when they're not busy modeling for me. If you like it, it's one of the ones that's down in the shopping tray below if you'd like to get your own sewing artist shirt. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today in the sewing room, and I will see you next week for another fun project. Okay, I'll see you next week for another fun sewing video.